Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Jamie and Marcus here.
Welcome to episode number 5 of our Nameless Restaurant podcast, restaurant business
everybody
podcast.
keeps sending us different names that we should call our podcast. So I guess we just need to come up with a name.
Come up with a name, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Let's see. So
you have a question today.
I have a question, yeah. So, of course, one of our first episodes, the second episode, was about marketing, basics of marketing. And I want to continue about marketing. When have you learned the best and worst times to spend money on marketing?
So I think it's important to think about your year, right? Think about the whole year at one time and think about when your slowest times are going to be throughout the year. And you have to start marketing before those times, right? You have to start marketing before your slow period. But I think once you're slow, you have to really ramp up your marketing. But if you can consciously figure out when you're going to be slow, then you can ramp it up before you're actually slow.
So you're basically saying to spend more money when you're slow.
Spend more money when you're
ramp up your marketing when you're slow.
Yes.
Okay.
But certain marketing.
So how does a restaurant really fathom that? So like right now is our slow time.
Right.
Right now we're going through our slow time and we know it's slow and we kind of dropped the ball on our marketing a little bit. We do a lot of things. We kind of dropped the ball on our marketing. We're in a situation where we're expecting our grandchild. We have a lot going on, but we could have done a lot more, and we're guilty of not doing a lot more right this time of the year.
But we know it, and we're the ones to blame for that, right? So we know it's time to ramp up our marketing, and we know we're going to have to spend a little bit more to ramp up the marketing to be able to get more people in our seats and, buying from us.
So if there's a restaurant out there that right now is like, oh my gosh, this is my slow time. Oh crap. Their normal attitude is going to be, I can't spend money on marketing. Right?
Absolutely. Yes. But there are things that you can do that you don't need to spend tons of money on, right? But you are going to have to spend money on marketing. I mean, that is just the bottom line. To get more money, you're going to have to spend more money, right? So your return on investment, if you know, like we know, our birthday offers bring in a certain amount of money. For every dollar we spend, we get back a certain amount. So you're going to have to spend money to get more money.
I would agree.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. You have to.
Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. So a lot of restaurant owners operate under fear, right? And all of a sudden it's slow. I can't spend any money. But you said the return on investment. I think if you know the return you're getting on your ads, on your expenditures, like you mentioned, the birthday offers, great. Like, so for example, it's a slow month for us.
Right.
Like if I can double my money spent, listen to me, right? If I can double the money I spend on birthday offers and I can get back half of that, even just half of what I'm spending as far as half of the returns of what normally I would get, I'd be happy. But most restaurants say, oh my gosh, $500 in marketing, it's slow, let's cut that back. I'm going to say $500 in marketing is going to bring me $5,000. Let's put $1,000 in marketing,
might get
$7,500 back.
Right.
That's the way people have to approach this. Now, but here's the real deal.
The real deal is that they don't have the money to even put into marketing, right? So a lot of they don't think they do.
They don't think they don't.
A lot of restaurants run week to week, check to check. A lot of Americans run paycheck to paycheck.
They have to look at marketing as an investment, but they can't. If you're watching this, you can't see. But what's on our wall right over there? That big.
So we have a calendar.
So
that was kind of what I was starting at. Is that we know what our slowest times are, and we know when we need to start ramping up our marketing. And so we have a calendar on our wall, and it's a full size year calendar. And I know when we need to start marketing, and we have certain marketing techniques, different things that we've been using for the past, 20 years that we've been in business. And so we know what to actually do on what months and to bring more people in the door. We know those things, and those are things that you have to find out. And if you mark it on the calendar before the beginning of the year, right? So, November.
So talk to somebody about doing a year-long calendar, because really our calendar is a whole year in a snapshot.
100%.
So how would a restaurant how would a restaurant, because a lot of restaurants, a lot of restaurants are guilty of this, and we are too sometimes, but a lot of restaurants are like, oh my gosh, it's Thanksgiving, I haven't done any marketing. Oh my gosh, it's July 4th. And the week before, it's like, let's go with the July 4th special. And we're going to do a barbecue for July 4th, or we're going to be open, or we're going to close. And this is the week or 2 weeks before July 4th. They're deciding if they're going to be opened or closed.
Right.
So talk to these people about how we do our marketing calendar a year in advance, and how we plug things in, and just how would one person go about.
So the first step is,
where would they start?
So the first step,
where would they buy the calendar?
So the first step is you go to, you can do it online. You can go to Staples, or, a office supply store, or online, and you order a calendar. So I use a couple of different calendars. So okay. I like the full size calendar that's up on your wall that everybody on your staff can see. So if you have an office person,
is this a month by month, or
it's month by month,
or 12 months?
12 months, but month by month.
By month.
So it's a 12-month calendar, and you have January, February, March, April, May, blah 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 blah.
So, for example, can a new chef that you hire in January walk in and look and say, oh
look, they do
July 4th they're closed, or July 4th we're open, we're doing a barbecue?
Right.
Absolutely. Right.
Because you have everything on the calendar. So I like that wall calendar. I like that everybody can see the whole year in review. They know what events are coming up, when the events are going to be. You can add things, you can take things away. You can have people put on there, if they need a day off or a week off, of course their staff members,
we're going to be grandparents,
or if we're going to not be able to be in for a couple of days or a week or whatever it might be. So I think it's really important to have a couple of different calendars, and that's just how I operate. I operate with a wall calendar, which marks off the whole year. Then before the month, Marcus and I go through what our events are for that month. And that's on my desktop, and that is a desktop calendar that I have. I can see the whole month on my calendar. So I take from the yearly, I put it on the monthly, right? And then I have a little book that I carry around with me. That is my weekly, right? And also in there is a monthly and a weekly. And so I can see, I go from yearly to monthly to weekly. And then even I do daily sometimes. It depends on the time of the year and how much time I have. But there are some days that I have to mark off what I have going on, so I know what I need to get done and how I get it done. So marketing is important to think about before the year begins, before the month begins, so that you can start in your head deciding what you need to do to bring in the business or to promote different things that you're doing. Sometimes people aren't even doing them because they need to bring in the business. They're just doing it because it's an event and they enjoy doing it or whatever.
So now here's the biggest mistake we made this year, a part of our slow season, part of December. And I need to go on the calendar now and mark off right after October 1st.
So yeah, typically by the beginning of November, we usually put on our calendar to do holiday
party promotions.
Yes.
Holiday party promotions, and right. And we didn't do a single email until it was too late.
Yep.
And we didn't get any. We got two or three. Couple holiday parties, but typically now we're in an area that our holiday parties. We're not in a big corporate area. We're not like other restaurants.
People have to travel to us.
And
there's not a lot of businesses.
Not a business here. So we have to market extra hard and give a different angle of how we market for our holidays.
But we know that we have to do a different angle.
And it's worked every year. It's worked like a charm. And because of COVID, not last year, Omicron was out, the very Omicron.
So there were no holiday parties.
We had cancellations like left and right. This year, we just weren't in the gear to do it. And we lost money. I don't know how many thousands of dollars we lost. And it's not fair to us or our staff. So we screwed up. We screwed up. I'll take responsibility.
So now we know we need to ramp up our January, February, March marketing. So now we know we need to do something. We have to think outside the box to make people want to come here. So I think that we should do maybe a $10 off for everybody on our mailing list. $10 off.
I love that.
Right? A coupon, send it out, $10 off whenever they want to come in. There's no questions asked between January and March, and they just come in, or you do it just for January. So here's our New Year's. We used to do that, years ago.
Still, all right. So as we're walking and talking through this now, so if we basically took all of our 10,000 contacts and send them a $10 off for the month of January, no strings attached offer.
Who cares if it's dine-in or takeout?
Who cares?
Yep.
Just the fact that we're giving them a gift. Emails are basically free to send out. All of our graphic artists do a little design on there, and then if that works well, we should probably repeat it again for February.
Maybe even we could do something, our daughter's having a baby. So maybe we could do something like however much the baby weighs, you give that off in the month of
some kind of contest.
Sometime. Yeah. Something.
Yeah. All right. So now we're here masterminding on a show and talking about how we're going to market. So this is one of the things. Now, let's talk about, before we finish this up, how long should somebody take on that? So this yearly thing that we hang on our wall, that's wax, by the way, it's laminated. So you use
it's laminated, and I use dry erase.
Dry erase markers, what I'm trying to say. So you can change things. So we can now plan events out and all year long, and we can see everything in a snapshot. A couple questions on this. What happens if we have to change something? What happens if
you dry erase it, you mark it off, and you erase it, and you add something else?
Should a restaurant be afraid of changing an event or changing something?
I think you have to be open to changing things. Things pop up all the time. We know that. Personally, we know that things just pop up. And sometimes you do have to cancel things. I don't think you can cancel it last minute if people are booking for it.
So for example, let's say we're going to do a big wine event here at the restaurant first week in October.
Okay.
And we put that in there, and we start our marketing, we put it on our website, and it's March or April now. And what happens if a wedding calls us to do a $20,000 catering job?
How would we handle that? Yeah. I guess it would depend on a couple of different things, right? It would depend on if we've sold tickets, if we have people interested, but we're the type of people that don't really cancel stuff if we don't have to, but there are times you do have to cancel.
Here's my first question on that is, can we do both?
Can we do both?
Can we do both?
Right.
Why cancel?
Right.
But I think that the point is, you shouldn't be afraid to cancel a wine tasting that you're going to bring in $4,000 or $5,000 for and take a wedding over it.
You shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be afraid to cancel.
No.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I don't think they should once they put something in there, don't think it's marked in stone.
Right. I mean, you can change things. I mean, that's why it's dry erase, because then you can change it. I'm a pencil person, so I put things in pencil because I know that it's okay to change things. And a lot of people say not to use pencil, use pen, because then it's stuck in stone. But I don't always believe that. I think that you have to decide, do it quickly, write it down, but then there are certain situations that arise that you have to cancel something. So I write everything in pencil. It's just how I like to do things. So dry erase works really well for me. You can do a brainstorming session with your staff and ask them, which we're probably going to do on our next team call. What types of things would you like to see here at Aroma Thyme? I know that they've already mentioned bringing back some different foods that we've had. So maybe that's something that we need to do, in January, February. Maybe it's time for those types of things.
My last question on this calendar is, how long would a restaurant owners, how long should they put into the calendar? Like they do this. They went to a restaurant.
Wait, say this again. Okay. Slow down.
They're taking your advice. They go buy the calendar.
Okay.
They put it on their wall.
Okay.
They have the dry erase markers ready to go.
But they don't know where to start.
It's a partnership. It's a partnership where it's one person, a couple like us. Who knows?
There's got to be a team, right? You have a team.
You have a team. I like the marketing team idea. Now, how long should those individuals sit there and plan on putting events on there initially? Now, keep in mind, things will change along the way.
Okay.
But is this an hour project, a day-long project, 2 days? How long?
It's a year-long project, really. But how long should they really sit there and spend? I would put the most important things down first. So I would start with holidays. I would start with all of the holidays. And if you want to do a lead up or a promotion, you can put when you should start the promotion, and when the promotion is going to happen. But I would say the first thing you do you spend an hour. Would you agree with that?
Hour, okay.
An hour.
And go over
An
the major
hour
holidays.
brainstorming, right?
Oh, okay.
An hour brainstorming and go over what you can write it down on a piece of paper first, right? When are the holidays? Write it down, then go to your calendar. You just have to be organized enough to do it. But I think an hour. I think all it takes people is 1 hour to get started, to go by the calendar and get things written down on it. Then you can start adding to it as you're thinking of things, because you're going to be out in the car and you're going to start thinking while you're driving and, oh gosh, I should do this. Or your wife's going to say, oh, hey, honey, we have this party coming up and blah, 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 blah. So you put it down on the calendar. I mean, it's a constant calendar. It's a constant calendar. You have a team in your office. You have a bookkeeper. You can brainstorm all the time, and you can always add to the calendar.
So I think it's important to schedule the meeting.
100%.
That's an hour or two. Schedule the meeting, get everybody together, and say, here's what can we do fun, exciting, and how can we make more money here in 2023, 2024, and 2020 at our restaurant based upon the calendar. You put in all the musicians you're going to have. You're going to have live music, whatever you're going to do, barbecues, Father's Day, you put all that in there. Now from there, you have all that information then to give your graphic artist and then create a timeline for doing all the details. Now, here's the nice thing about this. Once you get this going,
you have it year after year.
You have it year after year. You're probably going to do the same Father's Day barbecue every single year, right?
Right.
We've been doing it for 20 years, right? We're having to do the same barbecue every year. Why wait until 3 weeks before to tell your graphic artist, I need this, I need that, I need to post stuff on social media, I need to post it on the website. So many people to go to your website now and know the next 2-3 holidays coming up and see Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, and see everything that's going on there.
There's also cool marketing calendars online that you can Google. I know you have one, right? You have a like a special, what is it? Special events or restaurant calendar that is available.
Let's do a whole nother episode on food holidays. That's a really good one. So let's cut this off here.
Absolutely.
And I think what we're trying to drop was some really informative stuff on creating
a marketing calendar.
Get a year-long marketing calendar.
So that you are not pulling things out of nowhere last minute. And listen, you live and you learn on every task that you do, on every mistake, on every thing you do well. There's always improvements and ways that you can do better.
And we're guilty.
We're guilty too. You know what? We're human. I tell people this all the time. We're human. We make mistakes. We drop the ball as well. And if you learn from it, then you're growing. And that's the most important part. So get that marketing calendar going and get some really fun, cool events on there.
Go to restaurantgrowthsecretsuniversity.com and check out more great tips on how to run a beautiful restaurant.
Absolutely. Have a great day.